everybody got more. Unfortunately, there weren't. You figured, he said everybody surrounded his house. It's unfortunate, but when people get so bad, yes, they don't deserve to live, it's not something that's got. What happened? The first Taisvis we've learned already. That we learned the Taisvis, but we have a dispute. What does it mean that if there says that if you happen to have hat, and among the hat of Schusim, you have one of these twofold mitzvahs, that's sufficient to be considered a tzaddik, even though you don't have more than 50% of Schusim. So the first Taisvis, I'll repeat it again. Being Tomer, if you'll ask the question, the necessity of having a twofold mitzvah among the 50% of Schusim, Nami also chesed, mazel kapi chesed, gives chesed to everybody, a kindness, and if it happens to be 50-50, he'll push it on the right side, even though it's really not there. So you don't even need a twofold mitzvah in the 50% in order to be considered a God, but give him some more work. I know you can make Yesh Lomer, we can answer the Shar mitzvahs in relation to all the other mitzvahs that are, you want to get a one-fold reward. When their actions were equal in weight to their demerits, have a kebenini, they are considered like 50-50. Abu Bahani, but in this situation here, where among the 50% Schusim you find one of these twofold rewards, Koshiv Tzadik Gomer, they're considered a complete righteous type. And they're given, therefore, a reward in accordance with that type of classification. Now the next Taisvis.
That's right.
But we said you didn't have to come to that, and he'll push you over even if you didn't have one of them. So he says what's the difference is if you had one of them, the 50% Schusim, this would make you considered like a complete tzaddik, whereas not just made. Next Taisvis. Mas Nisan, our Mishnah is talking about that we're making for him a good day and a bad day. Perish Bekutris, the commentary explains, that's Rashi, yes. Misha also mitzvah yasira, one that does one more mitzvah. The Havi Rubas Chios, that now makes it a majority of merit said. There is a preparation for him in this world for a good day. Yeah. Nifroim Mimenu Avanosa. And how is this preparation for a good day in Olam Haba? By he's being paid for his sins now. In Olam Hazeh. Olam Haba. This is what we call preparing of a Yom Tov for him in the world to come. They give him a hard time now to wipe him clean from all the sins by punishing him for his sins right now. The Choshen Avoso, on the other hand, anybody that has more of his demerits, sins, Rubi, are greater than the Katoni, Marian-lo, we do bad to him. What's doing bad to him? Hainu, the Avdinin lady, Morish Yom Bish. We prepare for him a preparation of a bad day. Now, how do we prepare a bad day? That we're paying him the reward of his mitzvahs now. So preparing for a bad day is to give him now a lot of a reward right now for him a complete bad day. That's one explanation. That's according to the Bible. Well, all the time, like we mentioned before, the Korah in the first instance. Even what does it mean? You do good for him. It's schar payers. You do good for him only in relation to the smaller reward, the fruits of his good deeds. The principal reward is going to be given to him in the world to come. And the mission that says that even though he did majority of good, still bad is done to him. He says there's no such concept as reward of a mitzvah given in this world for an individual, according to the at any rate, this is what motivates him to make that conclusion, etc. and so forth. The kasha is difficult to taste this. Etc. So then the answer is, we answer up to by this point that the Mishnah that says that we do good bad to him if he did the majority of good is mashma. From this we learn out the alwa ashto up to now. Meaning to Rabbi Yaakov. We were not putting it like Rabbi Yaakov, like some other authority that presumably held that you can get a reward in this world as well as in the world to come. Rashi's explanation, Rabbi, according to Rabbi Nami, Bein Masnisin, regardless of whether we're talking about our Mishnah, Bein Brisa, regardless we're talking about a Brisa, that Schar Mitzvah Bahai Amos Masnisin, our Mishnah, that we're doing for him a good day and a bad day, a good day and a bad day, a good day and a bad day, both in Olam Hazeh. In other words, he has a period of time when he has good, and a period of time when he has bad. In Olam Hazeh. I mean, even though, it's an explanation of our Mishnah. Lomer to say, sometimes it happens, but God does for him a good day, he receives the reward of his mitzvah in this world. So Yoman, that particular day that he's getting that reward, it is considered to him Kimosh Yomov Shel Rosha, a majority of the days of a wicked.
I understand her question, what she's coming up with.
Good,
I have the same question.
Mine is, no,
I could put it in a little different phraseology, that the one who is a Russia
gets bad.
get good in this world for any little thing, so that closes out his account.
That's one of the things.
All right, okay, if that's the case, then how do we explain where we learned that there are mitzvahs that you get the fruit, you get the small amount of it in this world, that's where you're doing good. You get a small amount here and the majority over there. So we just said that the one that does good, he gets bad in this world, so that he's got a clear track for over there. But the question is, we're saying two things. The good one gets a little reward in this world, and he gets all the tzoros, so that he has not to receive any tzoros in Olam Haba. So the kasha is, the tzaddik is getting both good and bad in this world. Not that he's getting only bad. If we go according to this, he's getting only bad, then the question is, when does he get punishment in this world for anything?
Most of his days are permeated with bad. This is a majority over his merits. Miriam, sometimes. It's not always the case.
Not all.
The sins in this world, also Yom, and that's tzaddik, but the majority of the days of the tzaddik, tubo. See, the same word shori is permeated with good. Just like before, you said shori, the majority of the days of a Rosh is permeated with evil, bad. A majority of the days of a tzaddik is permeated with good.
Okay, I think what I'm understanding when it says is
Measure.
What is good?
Yeah.
I see nothing different.
No,
For instance, if I just want to give you an example. When people live in an atmosphere of a gangster's life.
Yeah.
So what kind of a life does he have? He is never sure whether he's going to go and live out the day.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to think every friend he has is suspect. The friend is today a friend, tomorrow he might go and murder him. All his contacts are weak, and he doesn't have any security of any sense whatsoever. So that's a bad situation to live in that atmosphere. Whereas if a person is sitting among people that are doing mitzvahs and learning Torah, so Baruch Hashem, everybody else learning Torah.
Russia. We'd say usually that good things happen to him in order that it should
Pay him off.
But it's very simplistic just to say there has to be something minor. And the same thing with the tzaddik. If he's doing a lot of good and he's getting paid off with it, that's bad.
That not only are we concerned with what actually happens to the person, we're also talking about the atmosphere that he has to be living in. Shori Baruch, he's talking about he has an evil atmosphere, regardless of what is actually happening or to him, either related to reward or punishment.
What is that atmosphere?
I appreciate that. That means, according to this, is a majority of the years of a life. In other words, it doesn't make any difference that there are periods of time even a tzaddik comes in a bad atmosphere, shori baruch, but a majority of his days is short. And by nature of the way he conducts himself, and by nature of the way he usually associates with, it would be that way.
because a tzaddik always is interested in doing mitzvah or pursuing Torah concepts, whereas a Russian and pursuing ethics. So this is very simple to understand. I want you to understand something. It's one thing to talk about the reward and punishment, but the reward and punishment cannot be isolated from the atmosphere in which the reward and punishment is given.
What about tzaddikim?
What you see, you say about atmosphere. I know that's a positive atmosphere, negative atmosphere, like you
Correct.
say. Live in a negative atmosphere, like you say, gangster. Yes, it's very difficult one way, but mitzvahs, and sometimes this mitzvahs.
Unfortunately, sometimes
Shabbos, he keeps Shabbos. Around him, nobody's keeping Shabbat. Nobody keeps. No.
I see.
Yes. Yeah. Why does he stay in America?
He also merubin, but also because his merits are greater than his. Just like we learned yesterday, that you have to be deliberate in judgment. You thought about what the din should be, and he has to think about it, and he cannot make the same way when you learn